Good evening, this is Keith All, and today's tutorial is going to be on how to import a text file into Excel. Currently, I am using Microsoft Excel 2016 version. So as you can see on my screen, I have an Excel worksheet open, and then plus over here to the right, I have my comma-separated text file that I have. And what I want to do is I want to import this data into this Excel worksheet. As for this text file, as you can see, this text file has headers up here, which are last name, first name, city, and phone number. And below it are the individual rows of data that are associated with those header columns. And you could also see that each field is separated by a comma. And in your place of business, your ID department may generate text files that are delimited by other characters like a tab or a space or even a semicolon or something else. You will have to find out how they want their data delimited into text files before you import it into an Excel worksheet. So in order for us to import this data file or text file into an Excel worksheet, there are a couple ways that you could do it. First, you could go over to the File tab and click Open, and then browse your file structure within your PC or Mac and find the file that you want to open up. It's one way. The other way is to go back to your sheet and go to the Data tab and click on that, and then as you can see over here to the left, there are where it says Get External Data, you can select from many different sources, either from an Access database or from the web. In this case, we're going to do it from a text file, or even from other sources like a SQL Server or even an XML data file. But since we're demonstrating with a text file, we're going to come back here and select from text. We're going to click on that. Now we're going to navigate to where our file is located. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this comma-separated file, and now you click on Import. And what comes up is a little dialog box that walks you through on preparing that text file so Excel can read it and import it into your current worksheet. Step number one is whether or not your file is delimited. I already showed you that our file is delimited by commas. So if it isn't, you could also select Fix With, and what that means is basically the fields in your text file are aligned in columns with spaces between each field, and it's going to be an equal number of spaces so that each column has the same number of characters in it. Now it's below here, it's going to ask you whether or not where you want to start to import the row at. So in other words is, do I want to start it at row 1, or do I want to start the import at another row? And that's what that means. Over to the right is asking you the file origin. So in this case, I'm going to select the United States. This checkbox right here, it says my data has headers. From our example here, I already stated that my file does have headers. So I'm going to select that. And now, based upon this, I'm going to click on the next button. So now here it's going to ask me what are my delimiters, because on the previous screen I did say select the checkbox delimited. So in this case, since we already determined that the file that we're going to import has commas in there, or a comma delimiter between each column, I'm going to select the column. And as you can see down here below, it's automatically going to detect that where the comma is, and it's going to separate those values into individual columns right here. As you can see, you have many different delimiters. And if your delimiter is not listed here, you just click the checkbox next to other and then type whatever that delimiter is within here. So now we're going to go to the next button here, click on that. And now this screen is going to ask you, do I want to format my data prior to us importing it into the Excel spreadsheet? So in other words, I could select each column and I could automatically format it to whatever I want to. In this case, I'm going to keep all columns as a general format data type, and I'm going to click on finish. But before I do that, is when you do the import, when you click on finish, it's going to import the data wherever your cursor is residing in your worksheet. In this case, I selected A1. Sometimes you want to put the import into a different column row selection. And what you want to do is just select that cell where you want to start the import, and it will automatically put it into that column row field. So I'm going to click on the finish button, and now the last dialog box will pop up, and it says first select how you want to view this data in your workbook. Well, in this case, I just want to import it into the worksheet, starting again in column A, row 1. You could click on this button here and change it to a different cell if you wanted to. This obviously means that you're going to import it into the existing worksheet, or you could select a new worksheet. Now I'm going to click on OK, since I want it to go into the existing worksheet. I'm going to click on OK, and as you can see, the data that was in this text file is now imported into Excel, and as you can see, the data is exactly the same. Let's say I want to verify this data. So row number 1 of the data, this case, is Ackman, his last name, Pillar is the first name, Bellevue is the city, and here's the phone number. So that's how you go about importing a text file, delimited in this case by commas, into Microsoft Excel. And again, I'm using Microsoft Excel 2016. I hope this tutorial was very helpful for you today, and I will be doing more tutorials in the future using Excel. Again, thanks for stopping by. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye now.